Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You are not going to believe the news we have for you today. This isn't your typical off-season rumor or speculative whisper from behind closed doors. This is real. It's confirmed. And it's shaking the entire NFL landscape right down to its very foundation. Trevon Diggs, one of the most electrifying and impactful stars to ever wear the Dallas Cowboys star on his helmet, is officially out. That's right. Let that sink in for a second. Trevon Diggs is no longer a member of the Dallas Cowboys, and this news has fans stunned into silence, erupting with emotion, and scrambling for answers. Nobody expected this. Nobody saw it coming. Not a single soul in the football world was prepared for the bombshell that just dropped out of the sky. But here we are, and it feels like the very ground beneath the Cowboys organization just shifted. It's moments like this that remind us all how unpredictable and raw the NFL can be. There's a rhythm to the football calendar: OTAs, minicamps, the build-up to preseason, the buzz of training camp, and all the hype surrounding roster battles and new schemes. But then something happens that cuts through all of that noise with such intensity and force that it completely takes over the conversation. That's exactly what happened today. While fans were expecting updates on player workouts, draft prospect development, or maybe even news about depth chart changes, what they got instead was an announcement so seismic it will undoubtedly be talked about for years to come. Early this morning, whispers began circulating among beat reporters and league insiders. Something was brewing in Dallas. Something big. Something that would change everything. Initially, nobody wanted to believe the chatter. Trevon Diggs? The Pro Bowl cornerback? The very heartbeat of the Dallas secondary? It had to be a misunderstanding. Maybe just a wild rumor cooked up by an attention-hungry blogger or an overzealous rival fan. But then, the confirmations began rolling in. One after another. Verified sources. Team insiders. Analysts. NFL Network, ESPN, local beat reporters in Dallas. The news was now official. Trevon Diggs and the Dallas Cowboys were parting ways. The reaction was instantaneous and overwhelming. Social media exploded. Cowboys fans around the country sat frozen in disbelief. How could this be happening? It wasn't that long ago, just last season, in fact, that Diggs was being hailed as one of the crown jewels of the Cowboys' defensive rebuild. He had inked a massive 5-year, $97 million extension. That deal signified that the Cowboys saw him not just as a cornerstone, but as a central figure in their quest to return to Super Bowl glory. And yet, today, that chapter has come to a sudden, stunning end. Behind the scenes, the story had apparently been unfolding for months, away from the public eye. And now, it's all spilling out. There had been whispers, murmurs, occasional reports that Diggs was facing setbacks in his recovery from a brutal ACL tear he suffered early last season. But nobody thought it would lead to this. The Cowboys were reportedly growing concerned not necessarily about his talent, because there's no denying his playmaking ability, but about his durability, his long-term availability, and how his style of play might be affected post-surgery. These are the cold calculations that front offices are forced to make. And as much as fans may not want to hear it, these decisions often come down to risk versus reward. Trevon Diggs came into the league with a bang. His knack for jumping routes, tracking the ball in the air, and flipping momentum with a single play made him a fan favorite almost overnight. With 18 interceptions in his first 3 seasons, he was already drawing comparisons to legends of the game. Names like Deion Sanders and Ed Reed were casually mentioned in the same breath. That kind of production doesn't happen by accident. Diggs had that rare it factor, a mix of athleticism, instincts, and confidence that turned him into a highlight reel machine. But with great expectations come great risks. The ACL injury was devastating. It derailed what was shaping up to be another standout season and cast doubt over his immediate future. Rehab began almost immediately, and by all accounts, Diggs was doing everything right. He showed up to team facilities. He worked with medical staff. He engaged with trainers. His camp put out positive messages every step of the way. But something was clearly simmering beneath the surface. The front office, led by Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, reportedly grew increasingly uneasy with the progress or lack thereof being made. The recovery timeline began to stretch. The confidence that Diggs would return at full strength started to waver. At the same time, reports now suggest that communication between Diggs and the team began to break down. What once felt like a strong mutual commitment had turned into a cold business negotiation. And make no mistake about it, this was a business decision. With over $40 million in guaranteed money still on his contract, the Cowboys were facing a massive financial commitment to a player whose immediate impact was now in doubt. That's not an easy pill to swallow. And it's not a decision that was made lightly. This isn't about disrespect. It's about preservation. Preservation of cap space. Preservation of future flexibility. Preservation of a long-term vision that no longer included Trevon Diggs. But the question on everyone's mind right now is, at what cost? Because the fallout from this move is massive. Fans have erupted in frustration. You don't just lose a player of Diggs' caliber and expect everyone to smile and move on. Social media has been flooded with reactions, some supportive, many outraged. Longtime fans are calling this a betrayal. Some are threatening to cancel season tickets. Others are posting videos of themselves burning Diggs jerseys in protest. The emotion is real, raw, and overwhelming. And inside the locker room, things aren't any calmer. Sources close to the team report that several players were blindsided by the announcement. Diggs, after all, wasn't just a top-tier cornerback. He was a vocal leader, a mentor to younger players, and someone who brought swagger and confidence to the entire defensive unit. His absence will be felt in more ways than one. Players like Darren Bland will now be asked to step up. Bland, who had an impressive breakout season last year, will be thrust into an even bigger role. Veteran leadership, perhaps from Stephon Gilmore if he returns, will be critical. But there's no denying it, this defense just lost a key piece of its identity. From a strategic standpoint, the Cowboys are hoping that this move gives them flexibility. Cutting ties with Diggs frees up long-term cap space, allows them to reallocate resources, and maybe even positions them for a blockbuster trade or major draft move. One name that's already generating buzz is Patrick Surtain II of the Denver Broncos. Could the Cowboys be looking to make a splashy move and replace Diggs with another young elite corner? That's the kind of chess move Jerry Jones has become known for. And let's be honest, when the Cowboys make a controversial decision, they usually have something else up their sleeve. But that doesn't erase the emotional toll this decision will take. Diggs was more than a player. He was a symbol. A symbol of the Cowboys' new defensive identity under Dan Quinn. A symbol of hope. A homegrown star who fans believed would be around for the next decade. And now he's gone. Just like that. The NFL, as always, remains a business-first league. But that doesn't mean it's easy for fans to accept. As for Trevon Diggs himself, sources close to the situation say he's heartbroken. He believed he had done everything right. He believed the team was committed to him long-term. He believed he was still part of the Cowboys' plans. Now, he feels blindsided. Betrayed. But he's also motivated. Expect him to land somewhere very quickly. Word around the league is that at least 4 teams have already reached out. And in a plot twist that could make things even more intense, one NFC East rival is reportedly showing serious interest. Imagine Diggs suiting up against the Cowboys twice a year. The drama would be off the charts. And of course, there's the social media component. Trevon's brother, Buffalo Bills star Stefon Diggs, wasted no time chiming in with a cryptic post, sometimes the ones you give the most to give you the least back. That's not just a quote. That's a shot. And it tells you everything you need to know about how the Diggs family feels about this decision. The message is clear: Trevon Diggs didn't quit on the Cowboys. The Cowboys quit on him. Meanwhile, Stephen Jones has tried to steady the ship. He spoke with the media just hours after the news broke. His tone was calm, composed, and corporate. "This was a football decision," he said. "We have a tremendous amount of respect for Trevon and everything he's done for this organization, but at the end of the day, we have to make decisions that position us for long-term success. We believe this was one of those decisions." That's the official line. And whether fans like it or not, it's the line the organization will stick to. But analysts aren't buying it quite so easily. Stephen A. Smith was among the first to react, and he did not hold back. On his show, he blasted the Cowboys for letting a player like Diggs walk. "This is typical Dallas," he said. "Flash. Drama. Chaos. You don't just release a player like Trevon Diggs unless you've got something enormous coming down the pipeline. If they don't, this is going to haunt them." And you know what? He's not wrong. This move doesn't exist in a vacuum. It has ripple effects on the field, in the locker room, and throughout the entire fan base. The Cowboys are betting on themselves. Betting that they can recover. That they can fill the void. That they can still build a Super Bowl caliber defense without one of their best players. Only time will tell if that bet pays off. And that brings us to the future. What comes next? Because you don't just make a move like this without a plan. Is a trade imminent? Is a big free agent splash on the horizon? Are the Cowboys looking to make a massive move in the next draft to bolster their secondary? Or are they shifting their focus entirely, perhaps looking to reinforce the offense to compensate for a weakened defense? Everything is on the table now. And that's what makes this moment so compelling and so volatile. Stay tuned, Cowboys Nation. The story of Trevon Diggs may be closing in Dallas, but a new chapter is beginning somewhere else. And the aftershocks of this decision will be felt all season long. Whether this turns out to be a brilliant strategic move or a colossal misstep remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the Dallas Cowboys just changed the game in a big way. And nothing will ever be the same. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications because this offseason just got wild and you won't want to miss what comes next.